Well, good evening, guys. This is Chief Forecaster Cameron back here once again, here to give you guys the evening forecast preview for your 7-day forecast coming up at about 7:15, 7:30 this evening here. And if you've been looking for rainfall or significant rainfall over the last week or so, I've got some excellent news coming your way, especially for later this video and also in your 7-day forecast this evening here. So, speaking of rainfall, let's go ahead and take a look at northwestern Arkansas here. We've got some rain coming in into those areas here. We talked about this earlier on today, that we would have to watch these storms coming out of eastern Oklahoma, well, central and eastern Oklahoma, into northwestern Arkansas here. So, it's making a difference with the temperatures right now. None of these storms are severe. We're not really expecting a whole lot of severe weather for tonight. There could be some gusty winds, a little bit of hail, but no tornado activity, no significant severe weather for tonight here. So these showers are going to continue to move off towards the east. Fort Smith, you're getting a good amount of rainfall. Your temperatures have dropped from the 80s, and even in some cases across the state where we were approaching 90 degrees, have fallen into the 70s here. So Rogers coming in at 75, Fayetteville 75. Down in the Fort Smith area now, you are at 82. Now you're down to 75 degrees here. Harrison, you're coming in at 77. Mount Holm, you're coming in at 81 at this hour here. So as I mentioned before, we're going to continue to monitor these storms coming out of the central and eastern Oklahoma area. And let's zoom this out. I do believe it's going to be this one. There we go. So let's zoom this out. And as mentioned before, there's your storm system coming out from the west. You've got a severe thunderstorm watch now for central and southwestern Oklahoma along the Red River down there into Texas. As I mentioned before, I'm going to make this clear. We are not expecting widespread severe weather for tonight. We're not expecting any tornado activity, no widespread severe weather, and that's not going to happen for tonight. Yes, some of these storms could be loud, especially across western Arkansas and northwestern Arkansas, but we're not expecting severe weather. Not every storm is going to produce severe weather at any point of the year here. We'll tell you guys if we're expecting severe weather, but right now we're not here. So, as I mentioned before, something that we're going to continue to monitor as we get towards night here. Elsewhere across the state here, it's been pretty warm. As I mentioned before, temperatures have really gotten up into the mid to upper 80s, low 90s here. And I told you guys this like 2 weeks ago, I believe, before our first fall cold front came in, that we weren't done with the upper 80s and low 90s here. You know, some people were saying we're not. We were never done with them. We will be at some point, especially in October. Especially that first 2 weeks of October, we should start to see that change to fall here. But here in Arkansas, you know, mid to upper 80s and low 90s just doesn't go away until you get that true fall-like cold front here. And that normally happens in early October here. So we're not done just yet. I don't think it's going to get 100 plus. I think we're done. I'm going to knock on wood on this. But I think we're done with the 100 plus. But there will be days where we have 90-degree temperatures across the area here. So let's take a look at Futurecast model for just a little bit here. I did not mean to do that. That's the rainfall totals. Let's go over to the Futurecast model here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to loop this through over the next 18 hours here, and that's going to include cloud cover as well. So we're going to let this loop through. It's not doing too bad right now. However, give me just 1 second. Let's see if we can switch this over to our model data. There it is. So it's about 5 o'clock this evening, and it's not doing too bad here. It's going to glitch out for just a little bit because it has to load up the data. But right now, you've got some light showers across northwestern Arkansas, and you're going to see the rainfall really start to pick up as we get towards this evening and into tonight here. So give it just a second or two. It's got to load up because this is brand new data coming in across the board here. But it's still holding on to those widespread rainfall chances across western and northwestern Arkansas here. So it should be done coming up here in just a second here. It's going to go out to, I believe, 10 o'clock tomorrow morning here. So it just finished. Let's go hour by hour. So right now, as I mentioned before, it's not doing terrible. Could be doing better. But it does have the rainfall across western and northwestern Arkansas. And you're going to see by the time we get towards 7 o'clock, those showers continue to move out towards the east here. A lot of cloud cover across the area here. So temperatures are not really going to fall off like they have been over the last 2 nights, where we've gotten down into the 50s. Places in northwestern Arkansas, northern Arkansas has gotten down into the 40s. You're not going to see a lot of that tonight here because of the cloud cover. So let's take this out all the way to about 10 o'clock this evening here. You can see the showers and even some thunderstorms continue to kind of fill in the radar, especially across western and northwestern Arkansas here. And so I mentioned before, none of these storms are expected to be severe. We're not expecting a whole lot of severe weather out of this. This is mainly going to be your classic, just normal rain. There could be some thunder with that, a little bit of hail, some gusty winds, but the majority of this severe weather looks to stay off towards our west for this event here. But you can see by the time we get towards midnight, good amount of rainfall across western and northwestern Arkansas. Some of that may try to sprinkle its way down into central Arkansas here, but my confidence in seeing rainfall here in central Arkansas is relatively low at this current point here. So let's take this out to 1. You can see there's just still a good amount of steady rainfall for our folks up there in western and northwestern Arkansas here. They're about 3 o'clock in the morning. This activity attempts to try to move off towards the east. So we'll watch it closely. Like I mentioned before, not every single person is going to see rainfall. Your greatest chance is going to be for western and northwestern Arkansas for overnight tonight, first part of your Wednesday morning. Not really expecting much down there in southern Arkansas here. And we could take this out to about 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. Good amount of rainfall across northern Arkansas, western and northwestern Arkansas here. You may see a little bit in central Arkansas here, but unfortunately, you're not going to see a whole lot of rainfall out of this particular event. But hold your horses. We've got some significant rainfall to talk about coming up here in just a second. And as we get towards about 8 o'clock in the morning, good amount of rainfall across western, northwestern Arkansas. Some of these totals over here could be about that 2 to 3 inch range, maybe even higher, depending on what ends up happening here. So you want rainfall, but you don't want too much at one time here. So that could lead to some flooding here if this continues to kind of stall out over the same areas here. So we'll monitor that as we get towards first thing tomorrow morning here. Now let's take this out to about 10 o'clock in the morning here. Now you can see the rainfall really begins to kind of become more widespread across western Arkansas, northwestern Arkansas, central. We'll see. I think you could see some rainfall here, but I don't think it's going to be a significant amount of rainfall here as we get towards later tonight here. So before we go into further into this weekend and into next week, I want to kind of take a look at the rainfall totals over the next 18 hours here, because I'm growing concerned with my folks up there in northwestern Arkansas here. So these are the rainfall totals over the next 18 hours, and you can see technically about 1 to 2 inches of rainfall over here. Central Arkansas, man, you may see a little bit, but it's not going to be a terrible amount. But it could be 1 to 2 inches of rainfall, locally some higher amounts over there across far northwestern Arkansas and in northeastern Oklahoma here. As always, we'll keep you guys updated with that here. So let's take a look at our highlights for tonight. As I mentioned before, showers, thunderstorms still continue for tonight, the first part of your Wednesday morning. We'll have to watch this weekend as well. I think this weekend will be a better, more widespread chance of rainfall, especially for our folks in western Arkansas and in the central Arkansas here. And as I just got through mentioning, widespread rainfall is now on the table for Sunday, and we're going to continue to monitor the Saturday and the Sunday time frame here for the potential of seeing some severe weather. I don't think you're going to see a significant amount of severe weather across the board. Let's take a look at your current burn bans across the area here. We've got some burn bans still remaining in effect. I think this is still the same from yesterday. I think a couple of counties may have dropped off. I think Drew County was the only one that dropped off with this. And as always, guys, if you have any counties that dropped off, let us know. We're not going to be 100% perfect with this because the server that runs off of is not 100% perfect. So let us know if there's a county or two that is not under a burn ban or is in a burn ban across the board. Speaking of the wildfire danger here, still remains the same from yesterday. Moderate wildfire danger, I think that will go away, especially as we get towards this weekend and into next week here. Now, let's take a look at tonight's weather here. As I mentioned before, we've got a good amount of rainfall chances across western, northwestern Arkansas, 90% up there, almost guaranteed. The further east and southeast you go, the less rainfall chances you're going to have. I gave Little Rock a 40% chance of rain for tonight. That does not guarantee that you're going to see rainfall. It's going to be very, very scattered in nature. Hopefully we get that to kind of push a little bit to the east to kind of get more rainfall here in central Arkansas. But unfortunately, western, northwestern Arkansas is going to see the brunt of this, and they need it just as bad as we need it here in central Arkansas at this current point. So let's take a look at some model data here, and I'm going to go over to the WPC for just a little bit. There it is. So here's the total rainfall over the next 7 days here. Let's take this out all the way to the weekend, and you're going to see the rainfall really start to expand out across western Arkansas. Some folks over here could see rainfall totals as high as a half a foot before it's all said and done here. Now, that doesn't mean everybody else is just not going to see anything. Look at the rainfall really start to expand out as we get towards Sunday night and into the day on Monday here. Easily 1 to 3 inches of rainfall from central Arkansas over to western Arkansas. Some of these totals I mentioned before could get up to a half a foot, especially back out there towards eastern Oklahoma here. So very beneficial rainfall incoming for our folks in eastern Arkansas and southeastern Arkansas. I know you guys have a lot of farming going on right now, so you really don't need the significant rain, but you still could see some rainfall over there, but the rainfall totals look a lot less to our east and a lot greater towards our west here, guys. So as I mentioned before, we're going to continue to monitor today as we get towards the weekend. Not expecting a whole lot of severe weather right now, but we'll monitor closely as we get towards later this week and into that time frame here. As always, we want to thank our Patreon supporters. We do have our fall outlook coming out. Well, it's already out on our Patreon. We have it coming out on the page at some point next week. I'll have a confirmed date for you guys over the next couple of days here. But if you want to get that early access to that fall outlook, take a look at us on Patreon, patreon.com/Arkansas Weather Watchers here. So we'll continue to keep you guys updated right here, your source for all things Arkansas weather.